What is different about Circle of Fame that when I go to that website and I look at the different experts, how are those videos different? You talk about Circle of Fame is it is not just a place where people can get information, but it's a place where people can actually to get help.
Hi, Vangelis. Good to see you today.
Hi, Elena. Very nice to see you as well.
What question you would like to discuss today?
One of the things that you talk about Circle of Fame is it is not just a place where people can get information. It's not just a place where people can say, here, do the following activities, but it's a place where people can actually go to get help to, for example, if someone says, just think positive or just do these things, my question is always, how? How do I do these things? Because we talk about how everyone has a unique path and everyone has unique scenario. How can I look at the information and look at what wisdom comes out of all the experts at Circle of Fame? What is different about Circle of Fame that when I go to that website and I look at the different experts, how are those videos different from what I see in other places?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. Yes, you mentioned it right. Although we create the library of videos and questions we discuss during panel discussions, but Circle of Fame not just a library of videos. We
Mhm.
have real people behind, and why we select experts. It is not only because they know, because they have that knowledge, but also because of kind of people they are. We select people who really love people, who have passion about what they do, and they want their clients to get real results. And having all these experts in different categories one place, we can find the best approach for the person to achieve certain results, because person can of course watch videos and see who he resonates with, and also he can fill the form, and based on his goals where he is, we can analyze the form and see his goals is here, but what is the really uh, reason that he didn't achieve these goals yet. And in many cases it's not just knowledge, because it is so easy now to find the knowledge, although
Right.
although AI hallucinate in many cases, but still you can just go and find so many answers to your questions. You can even create a program for yourself. You just tell AI your challenge and ask how to overcome this challenge or what I have to work on, right? And it give you a very good plan. So it is not about knowledge itself, but it is really to find out what are the reasons which blocked that person and he didn't achieve what he wants yet. Because if he knew how to achieve, right, he would already have that. So there should be some reasons why this person doesn't have it. So uh, we can do the like a study of his application results which we get, and knowing our experts in community, then we can refer this person's people who can solve him with his problems, because in many cases people think that they have certain problems which stop them in the road of achieving their goals, but this might be not even problems which he thinks about. Like
Correct.
people can
Correct.
think that they don't have clients because, for example, they don't have budget for ads, right? Like they can think that problems are outside of them. But when we get the information and the right people see this form and what is provided, right, about this person, they can understand really like real cause. why he doesn't have clients. And this cause can be in his identity, it can be in his beliefs, right? It can be in habits, maybe even fear of going public and uh, produce materials, or speaking online or speaking in front of camera, and it can be different reasons, right? So I think that this is what is the biggest value, like having experts from one side which we can recommend, and from other side having people who are coming to us and tell that I'm here now and I want to be here, help me, like find what holding me back.
Right. So there's a gap. I'm here and here's where I want to be. And how do we get that gap to close? And so the way that you monitor and talk about your discussions with the experts, the panel discussions and the podcasts and so forth, you don't just ask questions about them. You ask questions, what did you do to move past? What did you do to get unstuck? And so the videos are more about how the experts, how these people were able to triumph over their own situations. And so when a person watches these videos, then they can see themselves in whoever they're listening to. And it's more than just do this, it's actually I was in this scenario, and this is what I did to be able to get to this part of my life. So that's basically what you're talking about, is it's more than just information. It's actually information that is experienced and has been implemented live. And so we get that information firsthand from the experts.
Yes, exactly. Because the person doesn't need just one expert. He can think that he needs one expert. For example, he can think that he needs sales expert, but maybe he needs also a mindset expert, right? Like who will help him with his mindset to feel confident on the sales call, or when he speaks about the price or speaks about money, because many people have limiting beliefs, and maybe they think negative about money or being wealthy, and they can feel that they are not worthy, right? Like limiting beliefs about themselves, or they maybe are very comfortable to give, but they have really problems to receive, and they feel shy to receive and ask for something. So it is so many different aspects, and we can create like these application forms for people who really looking for right expert for them, and we can have like a group of experts, and we can say, okay, this is the person here, what we can do, how we can help him, so we can give him like holistic approach, right? Like this term
Yes.
for medicine, but we also can tell like this, like it is really important to see what is the real cause, because real cause is not what is outside. Real cause always is inside. It is in identity, in habits and beliefs, right? And this is what, when we fix that, like help person to identify and change that, this is how everything else would start shaping
And
its.
I think the words you were using, holistic, because if I think that I've got a problem with procrastination, that may be a symptom of what is really underneath it. And so you were saying, what's the real cause, the root cause? So we go with, well, it's not really procrastination, but these are some of the things that are lying underneath that and what cause that procrastination. And a lot of times people will spend so much time on the stuff that's superficial outside them versus what's stuff inside. Yeah, continue talking about that because I think that's really critical is how do you know what to even spend time on?
Exactly, how you know what to spend time on. So many people work hard, and they say, "I
Yes.
I work so hard, like I did everything. Like what is wrong with me?" Like they think that something is wrong with them, but actually it is nothing wrong with them. They just have to understand what are their beliefs, because what is their thermostat. Because if their thermostat is set to certain level of income, when they come above this temperature level, they will just start sabotage themselves and they will just lose, and then again they will go below settings, and then they will, because it is not comfortable for them, right, they go below the level that they feel they're comfortable, and then they start again being active. And this is how many people just go up and down, up and down.
Up and down,
They
yeah.
don't get sustainable results because of their identity. We have like cybernetic mechanism in our subconscious mind, the same mechanism as which is used in rocket or in airplane when it goes on autopilot. We know that rocket fails 90 more than 90% out of course, and every time it goes out of course, the cybernetic mechanism identifies the deviation and brings it back on course. So it is exactly how it happens. We have a certain setting in our subconscious mind for results we get in life, and everything what we get now, this is exactly what is natural for us. This is our comfort zone, and if we look at results, it will show how we are programmed. So if we don't change the settings, this is how we will just chasing things which are outside of our settings, and it will never happen because we will get always back to what is our norm. That is why it is
Yes,
important to speak about standards, about what we tolerate, what we believe, how we see ourselves, what is our self image, like our identity, our habits, our daily routines, our discipline. So it is a lot, right? As
right.
everybody knows that mindset is like biggest part of this iceberg, right? It is something that is underneath and what we don't see, but this is exactly what produces results. Everything what we see is just reflection of what is going inside. That is why I say that it is not the problem sales, it is not problem like not having AI tool, or it is not problem to have funnel. It is in most cases the problem is inside, and when people get access to experts who can really reflect and say this is, let's set this, let's just raise your settings, let's raise your standards, let's raise your attitude, right, like discipline, and let's create your new habits. And this is like those big frogs which you have to do every day. And we know that every time that we have to do something big that is really moves the needle, our body will resist. It will be not comfortable, right? So this is attitude. And again, how big is your goal? Why you would bother to do something uncomfortable if your goal is not big enough? So you will not just bother about doing anything uncomfortable, right? So again, coming back to your goals, is your big goal big enough? You really know what you want and how much you want that, because if you really want that big, so this is how everything will be easier, because you will start be committed and doing things which are uncomfortable.
Let's go back to a couple of words you said. You use something like it's equilibrium. So like an equilibrium means if this is where my beliefs take me, every time I come here, it brings me right back. So it's an equilibrium, and it's creating new habits so that that equilibrium changes. And then it always comes back to the new habit or the new attitude that you talked about. And also people that work hard, that doesn't mean they're accomplishing anything, just being busy. And so if you're busy on the things that actually move the needle, like you said, well, then I can see that I'm making some progress here. But if all I'm doing is just staying busy and I'm working on all the stuff that's outside here, that's one reason why we get frustrated, why we think, well, nothing works for me. And so that range is also important for us to know what range we can handle. Because if I'm here and I want to get to here, that may be too much for me. So I need to go just high enough and have my goals, like you say, big enough to excite me, but not too big that I get sad. So and that's one of the things that we work on with these experts is they'll say, how did you know where your comfort zone was? How did you know what your range of what you want to do? Because see, that would help me to listen to somebody say, well, this is where I was, this is where I wanted to go, but that was too much. So I had to figure out where that was. Talk more about how do you know what that range might be so that I can feel excited, but I'm not sad.
Mm. Yes, the range can be anything, Vangelis. This is really what you want. It is not about limiting ourselves and thinking that is range big. It is not range big. It is big for you, but somebody who did that and over past that already 10 times, for him he looks back and it is very small. So it is not about the range at all. It is really what you want. What you want. Like if you think that you are, let's say, 100 years old, right, and you were told that you have 1 day left, and you look back, you just think you are in that situation now, you look back in your life, and then you, what are your thoughts, how you would really live, like to live, that at that moment you will look back and say, I achieved what I wanted, right? For many people, experts which we meet, it is legacy, it is impact. Yes, we're not speaking about impacting 10 people, right? Like in Circle of Fame, we want to impact millions people, right? So everybody has something that makes him excited, and it is not about how, because how, it is God's work. Our work is to know what we want. Like for many people, this is really a problem because they don't know what they want in life. They think about daily tasks, some daily routine, but no, they don't think about their purpose in life. Like really, that moment when you look back and then when you see, yes, I did this what I really wanted, and I lived my life with my full potential. I created this that I wanted. I impacted these people's lives, and now I am so much in peace because I did everything I wanted. I lived best life, right? And of course, for everybody, success is different, right? So for
Right.
somebody, success is charity and maybe helping 1,000 children. For somebody else, success is to donate maybe hospitals to cancer patients, right? Like I think everybody is, when we come, if we speak about Maslow pyramid, right, we know that the basic like level is when people just think about surviving, right, about their clothes,
Right.
shelter, food. But when people start growing with the income, we know that it goes to the upper part. And when people already have everything necessary, right, like build their wealth, then they stop thinking about money itself, right? Because then money doesn't, it is important of course, but it is not why, right? Like money is not real why. What money is, like means to achieve, to create something, to provide value, but it is never why, right? Like it is not that we do something for money, we do something big and money comes to help us to make it even bigger, right? This is the right attitude. So when we come to that high level, and then we always think about legacy and impact and what we can bring to the world, because we were born with nothing, right? We were born naked and we will be buried naked, right? We didn't bring anything and we will not take with us, and we just have few years. If we see like people who come to our podcast, average age is 50 years old, like 50. So how people live, let's say, like 30 years, 40 years, like it times, it flies so fast. So what you really want to live after you, what you can do that even 100 years when we are not here, we still will create impact and value for people who will live after us.
Yeah, I think that the Maslow hierarchy, some people, when I listen to them, they say, I just want my needs met. And I'm thinking, that is all you want? Just your needs met? How about maybe doing what you want to do? Because having your needs met means you get all your bills paid. But that's all. It's such a very small goal just to have your needs met, because so many people struggle with just having their needs met. So their goals are just on that immediate part at the bottom of that Maslow hierarchy. Okay, once I get my needs met, then we go up that pyramid. And so now I have bigger goals, but you said something earlier. help ourselves discover what we really want to do in life. And I think a lot of people don't even get to that question because they're so inundated with just getting their needs met. They don't even have the opportunity to get to the question of, let me discover what I am and what I really want to do and accomplish. So they're stuck in that needs part. So how do we get out of that bottom needs part into the top of the hierarchy?
I think that the answer for this question is to study yourself and knowing who you are, or remembering who you are, or maybe reminding yourself who you are, right? Because when we understand who we are and what huge potential we have, how unique we are, right? This is all about self study and knowing your worth, because everybody is unique. You just think about that there is only one Vangelis, and there will be never anyone like Vangelis, like only one unique genius Vangelis who has his own talents and gifts, which he has so much that he can not even use them his lifetime. So this is one quote which I like, that God gave us so much talents and gifts that we cannot even use during our lifespan, and our gift to God is to use them right, to discover them and use them. So when people start understanding who they are, what they are given, the power of their mind, like those high mental faculties, which is imagination, or will, or perception, or reasoning, right? Like we can reason, we can imagine, we can create, we have will, we have memory, not only for past but also we can use memory for future. We can create any situation in the future and remember it and start acting and seeing ourselves there. And this is how manifestation happens, right? So it is never about current results. When people understand that they should be detached from physical reality like physical, this 3D reality, if they really want to change their life, if they want to change their results, because everything what they see now in their reality, like bank account, yes, like number of clients, business, everything is reflection of their previous decisions, actions, habits, what they did, how they thought, how they felt, how what actions every day, right, they took, and now this is results. But if we don't detach from these results and don't start thinking from the future and start becoming that person who already had the life which we want in the future, and start making decisions from that place, till we do that, nothing will change, because our thoughts different determines our feelings determines our actions determines our results, right? And it is just a loop. If you don't come out of this loop and don't start thinking big, like why you really here, what you want to do with your life, what you will tell yourself when you are 80 or 90, right? What you want to tell yourself, how you lived, how you used this gift which is life given to you. So it is about really about perspective, right? Like who you are, understanding that we are so powerful, we have been created as God's image, to create things in our life. If you look around yourself in your room, everything was created, right? It didn't come itself. It was initially planned in someone's mind, and then that person just thought about it, visualized, and bring it to the reality. Like I have this book, right? Like James Allen, yes, very good author, right? So somebody created this album, right, and put this all his books in such a beautiful folder. Or another one I have here, I'm fond of books so I have a lot. This one also I love, Napoleon Hill collection. Yes, so somebody put these books, you see, and put them so nice that it looks like this, you can just hold and collection. So somebody did it, and we have that capacity to create anything in our life. And I want to get back to your questions, like what is big? Nothing is big, it's just how small we are. If we think that big, it is not because that is big it is just
Well, do
because
you think that maybe
different.
part of the reason people think small is because you said earlier we're all unique, Do you think that maybe people compare themselves to other people and don't realize you cannot do that and be able to achieve what you want to achieve? Because your path may be totally different from someone else's. But if you go, well, they did that, well, but maybe that's not your path. And so they compare themselves, and now they think that the goals that those people had, they can have the same goals, and but maybe they actually can have bigger goals. What do you think about the not comparing yourself to other people?
This is very important. Yes, this is a very important what you just mentioned. As we spoke about being unique, right? We don't
Hmm.
need to compare ourselves. Again, why people want to compare? Because they don't understand themselves. They don't understand their
Yes.
uniqueness and their value. They don't have really high self-esteem. They have low self-esteem if they ever want to compare themselves. Because the person who has really understanding, a good understanding about himself, he will not compare. He will think what I create, right? Like I like another quote, like there is no competition, like let's create something that will make other models obsolete. So instead of thinking how I can compete or compare myself, think what you can create new, what is really valuable now in the market, and what you see that it is demand, and what you could do better. Yes, like look at people, and again, don't compare, but of course we should know the trends, we should know what is available in the market, and then instead of comparing and thinking I will do like that, we can think, okay, what I can do that doesn't exist yet, like that
Mm.
really will give massive value to people. So again, we don't think about, oh, let's create something to make more money, right? It is wrong, a wrong attitude, although we need money to create everything good. But when our focus is on the creating the model that will bring value, massive value, when our focus is on value, then we will create that value, and money comes as a side effect, because people always happy to pay if they get value, not vice versa, right? Like when people just think about getting more money and overpromise and underdeliver. This is again about attitude. When you have right attitude, when you understand your worth, and understanding also that you don't need to know everything to achieve your goal. Nobody knows everything. Richard Branson, he said that if somebody gives you a good idea and you like it but you don't know how, tell yes and then figure it out on the way, right? So nobody, if it is about big idea, about big project, it is very important thing that when we get this idea, it means that we are capable to do that. This is very important, Vangelis. This is what I learned. Right? And what makes me so excited about my ideas, because I also don't know how I will do that, right? But I know this truth that if I have this vision, if I see it and have this idea and I get excited and I want to do it, and I can answer this question that am I capable? Yes, I'm capable because I already have this idea, right? And when I have this, it means that it is already done. Like it is unlimited potential of our future, right? So it means that it is already there as one of potential future, yes, form. So I got this idea because it is possible for me. So I have to say yes to this idea and take first steps, right? Even now recording this video, it is a step, because I speak about this, and this video will attract right people who also will be interested to share this vision, right, and join the circle of fame. So this is how it built. I don't know who will join, right? At this moment when we record this, I don't know who will be in our community in 5 years or 10 years, right, to get that big idea manifested. But I know that where I am now, I have this idea and I have to act upon it. Because when we get ideas and we don't act, it will pass. It will not wait. It is very important to think big, right, and don't set any limit, because when idea is big and we never did this, of course our brain will tell us, oh, how you are going to do that, you don't know people, you don't know resources, you never did this, you don't have knowledge like how you do it, you don't know how, and that is how many people stop right in this very beginning. But if you think different, you say I have idea, it means that it is already somewhere in the future. So who I have to become today to be aligned with that version of myself who already have that idea manifested. And then we see like what standards I should have, what discipline, what daily actions I should have, what kind of thoughts I have, right? How I have to feel. And this is how we raise ourselves instead of bringing idea back to your norm, right? As you said, like how we can understand, is it big enough? No, it is not big enough, because everything is big or small in comparison. The biggest thing is small in comparison with something bigger, right? So there is unlimited number of frequencies, and there is always unlimited number inside the cell. We can go inside unlimited, and we can go to the space unlimited, right? There is no end. So the only limitation is in our mind. We set the limitation, what is big for us. So instead of bringing that big goal towards your natural, we have to lift ourselves, right? We have to
Mhm.
work on our identity to make this idea small. This is what we do. We work on becoming the person, right? And how we become that person, this is through identity shift. We have to start thinking as the person for whom this idea is small, really very small. Like as that person has a time 10 times bigger and looks back and say, oh, it's just nothing, like how I didn't even thought about this earlier. And so this is all about, again, about mindset and having that idea small and growing yourself. Again, inside we grow to get aligned with that idea and start feeling that it's just natural. And the moment when it becomes natural for you, this is how you will start thinking, feeling, acting as natural, and everything what is natural for us, we just attract effortlessly in our life. It is not
Perfect.
difficult.
Okay, so we've been going for 25 minutes, so let me recap everything. And we actually could just continue from where we left off now. So you talked about a holistic approach where we look at the root cause, we look inside, and how do you know what to spend time on? People will say, I work so hard, they think about something is wrong with them. They're so busy, but they're not accomplishing things. And then you talked about the range that they can handle, their comfort level, no sustainable results, but there's an equilibrium that has been created by the habits and attitudes that they have right now. So those are the things that we look at and to see how we have been programmed. And then we're going to learn how to choose the range. It's not about the range, but it is what you want. And then you talked about legacy and the impact of millions of people. It's not about how, but what we want. We do not know what we want because we haven't spent the time to discover what we want in life. We haven't spent the time to discover ourselves. And some people compare themselves. And you spoke about Maslow. Some people are stuck at just surviving, just to have their needs met. The money is the means to achieve things. Some people only want to have their needs met. How do you get out of that bottom? And you said to study yourself. Everyone is unique, and that is why we should not compare. Do you think part of what keeps people thinking small is that they compare? And you said we have to detach from that physical reality. The current reality is based on past decisions. And people compare because they do not see their value. So instead of competing, comparing all those things, when we get an idea, it means that we are already capable of achieving it. So we have to act when we get an idea, set no limits, and who do I have to become to be aligned to have the idea manifested? And actually, you said the idea is already manifested. It's just that we have to raise ourselves. Instead of bringing the idea to where we are, we raise ourselves to where the idea is already achieved. And we become bigger than the idea when we do that. Because we don't want to bring it down to us. When we raise ourselves, now the idea seems small because we are no longer seeing it from here. We're seeing it from here. So that's great. That's beautiful, actually. You could take this video and just start applying it. And that's part of what Circle of Fame is about. See, these conversations, they're not just, hey, Elena, how you doing? It's about how do we get from where we are to where we want to be? And how do we even know where we want to be? So that's what these video series are all about. So thank you, Elena. That was a really good session.
Yeah, thank you, Vangelis, for amazing questions, and I love how you resume our episode. It was great. Well done.
All right. Thank you, Elena.